Up next is a story that you will only see on Fox 46 News, and it's one that is a true eye-opener, especially when it comes to the fight against ISIS.
A North Carolina mother of 3 travels to Iraq and joins the Kurdish Peshmerga in the fight against the Islamic State. 25-year-old Samantha Johnston from Emerald Isle, North Carolina, is the only known American woman on the ground assisting in the fight against ISIS. She spent 3 years in the United States Army and seeked out the Kurds online last summer when ISIS atrocities were dominating the nation's headlines. She decided something had to be done, so she utilized her contacts and embedded with the Kurdish Peshmerga unit. She now actively trains with them and goes on patrol with them. She leaves behind her 3 young children who are now in the care of her family, waiting for her eventual return. I was able to get in touch with Johnston several weeks ago, and she agreed to speak with me exclusively via Skype to talk about the decision to leave her family, what she's seeing on the ground, and why she says ISIS is winning this battle. It's a story and a perspective you will not see anywhere else. It's been just over 2 months since Samantha Johnston put her own boots on the ground in Iraq.
It was a long and hard process, a lot of praying.
She's stationed with the Peshmerga near the city of Kirkuk, and her days are spent receiving a crash course in counterterrorism training.
Use the cover.
Every day we get up at 4 in the morning, we get in the Humvees, we go where we need to go. We train, and we train specifically for quick reaction, and we come back, we clean our weapons, we prepare for the next day.
You know, talk about when you first got out there, when you first got off the plane. Was there quite frankly, a holy crap, what am I doing moment when you realized you were over there, you were doing this?
That happened when during the transfer from the airport to the base that I was going to. That it was 3 in the morning. They didn't give me a flag vest or anything. They gave me like a police officer bulletproof vest. They had a rifle ready for me, and they said, in case of attack, blah, 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 gave me a briefing, and that is when it hit me, like, how serious this was.
Johnston hasn't been in a firefight yet, but she says ISIS, also called Daesh, is always close and is gaining momentum.
For a while there's no activity at all from Daesh, but now that Ramadi has been taken over and they have all the new weapons from the Iraqi army, it's like the calm before the storm. We were expecting it, and it's just we're just waiting.
And speaking of the fall of Ramadi, you know, everything gets portrayed here in the media back home a certain way. There's a lot of discussion going on in terms of, is the United States doing enough in the fight against ISIS? You are over there right now. What do you think?
No, the United States is not doing enough whatsoever.
What would you like to see done differently? An increase in airstrikes, boots on the ground?
Directly fund and give weapons to Peshmerga, not to the Iraqi army.
When you hear President Obama say things like, right now we don't have a strategy for dealing with ISIS, how does that make you feel?
Embarrassed. Embarrassed for America. I don't want to give my opinion on Obama.
Johnston says if the goal is to truly destroy ISIS, boots on the ground would give a major advantage.
We're losing this fight, and we need the support from our government, America, from other Western countries.
Another American, I'm sure you've heard, Keith Broomfield, just killed by ISIS. I mean, does that scare you to know that that could be you?
It does not scare me, it angers me. Because an American came here risking his life to fight for Kurdistan and to fight for America. And America is not supporting this fight whatsoever. And the result of that, he lost his life.
And like Broomfield, Johnston is willing to risk her own life to help the victims of ISIS ruthlessness, even if that means temporarily leaving her loved ones behind.
A family member drove me to the airport, and she kept saying, I can stop, I can turn around, and I wanted her to, but at the same time, I knew this was something that was important to me, and I knew that I needed to come and help in any way.
As far as you know, are you the only American woman over there right now?
As far as I know, yes.
How does that make you feel? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to have differing opinions on this. Some people will likely call you very brave. Some people are going to say, how could she leave her children behind to go do this? You know, what would your response be to both?
It was my choice. It was something that I decided and prayed about. And luckily my families, they don't support me being here, but they're being supportive, if that makes sense. And I couldn't thank them enough for all the help they are giving me with watching my children. If I didn't have them, this would not be possible. And everybody has opinions, and I try to brush it off and focus on my goal here.
Johnston came to Iraq on a one-way ticket. She has no idea when she will return to America, but when she does, she knows exactly what she is going to do.
Make this up to my kids for the rest of my life. Focus on them. I told them that I was leaving for a little while to help other little children. And they said, okay.
And when Johnston does get back to the States, she also plans to start a humanitarian organization so she can continue helping the Kurds. She also has a GoFundMe page set up. That's where all donations go towards arming and equipping the Peshmerga in their fight against ISIS. A link to that page and the rest of our interview will be posted on fox46charlotte.com.
Well, it's an amazing, amazing story. I remember when we were talking before, and I was saying, what about the kids? You said something that she told her kids?
Yeah, she basically told them she couldn't look them in the eyes when they were older and say basically she stood by and did nothing while kids are dying over there.
Wow.
So pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, very much so.